let's go ahead and get into all this stuff. All right. So we're going to start off with this. Oh, it just keeps getting worse and worse for those in Australia. I'll tell you what. Can I make that bigger? Without it going weird. There we go. All right. Confirmed. Government defines which prayers are legal under the New South Wales conversion law. Now, we've heard about the conversion law. The conversion law thing isn't new. Was that April? I think it was April. I think it says it in here. I think it was, April. It says it right there. In April. Effective in April of this year. But it looks like they actually defined that you can be thrown in jail for up to 5 years for a certain type of prayer. And these things just continue to get worse. Not only is this an attack on Christianity or just faith in general, because it's not just Christians who pray. So I want to put that out there. This is an attack. This is an attack. I could speak. I'm like Foghorn Leghorn all of a sudden. I say this is. Sorry. Now this is an attack on faith, but it's also an attack on free thought and free religion and just taking away so many rights in so many ways. Not this world, spit it out, dude. I know. I'm tripping over myself. But this is an attack on so many ways. And so it says the New South Wales government has confirmed that certain forms of prayer are now illegal under the controversial Conversion Practices Ban Act, which took effect in April this year. During a recent parliamentary meeting hearing, Liberal MP Susan Carter pressed Attorney General Michael Daly, on whether the legislation curtails freedom of religious expression by placing a prohibition on prayer. During the 6-minute exchange, Daly confirmed that while general prayer is not prohibited, prayers directed at changing or suppressing a person's sexuality or gender are indeed classified conversion practices and therefore are unlawful. So basically, if you are praying for somebody to turn away from sexual immorality, that is deemed illegal, deemed unlawful, and you can get thrown in prison for up to 5 years for it. Prior to the Attorney General's admission, uncertainty had persisted among New South Wales Christians over whether prayers restricted under the Act, despite assurances from the law's supporters it would not be affected. You can pray with the person and do all those sorts of things, the Attorney General told the committee. But if you pray in a way that it becomes a sustained practice directed to a person with a view to change their sexual orientation or gender, that's against the law. Ms. Carter progressed further, asking, with respect, isn't prayer commonly about change of all sorts of things? Daly clarified that if you're sitting down praying to somebody, praying to someone to strengthen them and guide them and all those pastoral considerations, that's fine. But if you're sitting down to quote unquote pray the gay away, that's not. This is a very slippery slope. This was always one of the questions that I saw in regards to this act when it was passed in April. Was, okay, so what is the actual consequence? Because it was a question up in the air, and clearly the one lady, Carter, there was also trying to get some answers in regards to it as well, which is why she pressed this dude to explain what it is. It says the Attorney General's answer reveals that the government now effectively decides which prayers are permissible and which are not, confirming that long-standing protections for religious freedom in New South Wales have been measurably eroded under the Act. It says Ms. Carter further questioned the legal authority for the state to define lawful prayer, so the government has the right to say what prayer is lawful and what prayer is unlawful, she asked. Daly replied, well, if it's an unlawful prayer, then it's not a lawful prayer. If it's not an unlawful prayer, then it's not a lawful prayer. What? Think about that for a second. That's the way of saying it is whatever I say it is. That's basically what he's saying. He further clarified that conduct, not merely words, is the determining factor under the Act. Government can put limits on the behavior of its citizens regardless of what the behavior is. My word. Just understand that sentence. Government can put limits on the behavior of its citizens regardless of what the behavior is. And they do it in a myriad of ways every single day, whether it's prayer or driving or dealing in drugs or assaulting other people. There's nothing special about words coming out of a person's mouth. If the words that come out of a person's mouth constitute a conversion practice, it's offensive to the act. Daly then hinted that even internal private prayer may fall within the law's scope. Internal private prayer may fall within the law's scope. So what they're saying is, as of right now, you guys can read further into it if you want to, but I think we get the gist of it. What he's saying is, as of right now, if you are actively praying with somebody, even if they come to you for prayer, and you are praying that they turn from sexual immorality, they change away from homosexuality, and so on and so forth, that person can go and report you, and you can get arrested for doing it. Or if anybody hears you doing that, you can go and get arrested for it. And now he's saying, to the point of, even if you're privately praying, which we've seen things in the UK, we've seen things in Ireland, we've seen things in those various other European states over there, that people who are just privately praying on the street or whatnot are actually getting arrested for doing so. He's basically saying that same issue can now occur here as well. And so we have ourselves another... I'm honestly, like, I'm at a loss for words now for the amount of things. This doesn't surprise me. I want to make sure I put that out there. This doesn't surprise me at all, because I know a lot of people are like, this is unbelievable. It's like, no, it's perfectly believable. In today's day and age, in 2025, in the world that we live, this is absolutely believable. This doesn't surprise me. But I'm still at a loss for words for how just incredibly fast this stuff is moving. And as of right now, it's really sweeping all around the European area over there, Australia, New Zealand, and all of the UK and Europe, European Union and everything. And this stuff is moving so fast over there. But it's really, I don't even know what to say about this anymore. This is not only thought policing. This is not only constant, they're going to need constant surveillance on people in order to do this. That means there's going to be people looking into churches. Then we have the issue of just the laws against faith itself, whether it's Christian, whether it's Catholic, whether it's Mormon, it doesn't really matter at this point. It's an attack on all of this because it's a prayer of something that we should be praying for these people who are lost with their homosexuality and stuff like that. You got a half brother who's still all caught up in that and stuff like that. I know a lot of you guys have family that are all caught up in that. We should absolutely be praying that they turn from their sinful ways and come to the Lord through this type of stuff. But in certain places, that can now get you jail time for doing just that. And so it's definitely getting worse and worse and worse. So if you're in that region, New South Wales, just be careful. Be careful for what's going on over there. Again, Europe seems to be going in the way that they're going to need to start forming an underground church pretty quick, similar to what like China and North Korea and all them have got going on. All right, moving on. We're going to be taking a look at this. My word. It's disheartening to see so many Christians, so many churches, so many people in the church getting caught up with AI. And it's increasing. It's increasing tenfold because AI can become anything you want it to be. And it as long as it has the appearance of Christian, it uses the same Christianese language, it can be anything that you want it to be. And this is not good. So we got this. This just came out on the 7th. It says Fantasy or Faith. One company's AI-generated Bible content stirs controversy. It says in a recent video posted to the AI Bible's YouTube channel, buildings crumble and terrified-looking people claw their way through the Bible. Horns blare and an angel appears floating above the chaos. Then comes monsters, including a 7-headed dragon that looks something out of Dungeons and Dragons rulebook. The visuals in this 8-minute video, which depicts a section of the Book of Revelation, hey, they actually spelled it right. I was totally expecting it to say Book of Revelations, like all the people who put S on it anyways. That's a it's a peeve of mine, honestly. Anyways, section from the book of Revelation are entirely generated by artificial intelligence tools. At times, it feels like a high-budget Hollywood movie, at times more like a scene from a video game, and at times like fantasy art. Despite the somewhat muddled visual styles, viewers seem to like what they see. It has racked up over 750,000 views in the 2 months since it posted. Now, I'm bringing this up because I've noticed an increase in comments and emails that I'm receiving from people that are starting to get duped by this, and I don't want to say that in a mean way. If you're one of those people that emailed me or left a comment about this stuff, I'm not saying that to be mean at all. But I'm starting to notice that there's people, because they're asking me, is this legit? Is this a legit thing? And most of the time, what they're coming across is channels that are playing Christian music, but they are AI generated. It uses AI generated artwork, album artwork, uses AI generated music. And these channels are starting to blow up because it's Christian, so it must be good. But the problem is it's AI generated music. And again, I hold the position we should be avoiding all of this. We should be avoiding AI as much as we possibly can. As we know, AI is getting implemented in everything. We cannot avoid it entirely because it's just being put into everything. But if we have the option, if we have the choice to voluntarily not use or listen or watch or engage in something that is AI generated, then I believe that we actually should not be doing that because of its demonic background, its roots in it. Now, again, there's people that disagree with me on that, and they think it's just a bunch of software and hardware working together in order to generate stuff that's programmed by people and stuff like that. And if you're one of those people, there's nothing I can say at this point that will really I can't think of the word. There's nothing I can say at this point to change your mind. That's not the word I was thinking of, but still. But at this point, again, I still don't think we should do this. But I have noticed a massive increase. I'm seeing it pop up on my YouTube feed all the time. I'm getting recommended more and more YouTube Bible reading, YouTube Bible stories with animated stuff that AI is putting together, YouTube Christian music, YouTube sermons that are starting to steal sermons, old sermons by pastors from the old days who aren't with us anymore. And they're taking those and they're using AI voices in order to read sermons. Then there's other ones that are actually starting to generate AI sermons with an AI voice and read these things out. And I'm telling you, this is stuff that you need to stay away from, because one of the biggest things that can happen with this is it will change things subtly. And if you do not have the Bible, you do not have scripture locked down in your head, where if you hear something wrong just from your thought, you can point it out, then you are going to start falling into big problems, because people get caught up in just one or two words in a passage itself that changes things. I actually received a question from in an email. Several people emailed me this question that I'm going to answer at the end at the Q&A. And a lot of it has to do with, if you just look at two or three words of a passage, it gives you an understanding of that passage, but people don't necessarily look at that. They just read through and go, oh, okay, well, it must be that because of this reason. And so if you have AI that's doing that, you're talking about triple the danger, because now you have something that is not only grabbing your attention, feeding your endorphins, and putting you into kind of, again, I believe AI can use its spell casting. I absolutely believe that they can put people under spells. Again, I just saw a report that an underage kid was on ChatGPT and the kid suicided himself because ChatGPT told him to. He was under a spell, just like many other stories that we're starting to see out there, AI psychosis and all that type of stuff. What happens when it starts going biblical? People can use AI to make Jesus anybody they want to. And I've talked about this before, and I've said this before. There are many Jesuses out there, but there's only one true Jesus. Many will come in his name. And I'm telling you that people believe in 500,000 different Jesuses around the world. But if they don't believe in the true one, then they are lost. Then they don't have what that one true Jesus can give them. And so when we have AI is training people to have Jesus be who they want it to be, to have the Bible say what they want it to say, to have them pray to some other entity that is not the true Jesus. And so when we see these channels and we see these things happening and they're increasing and people are being attached to it, again, I've gone over this story before, and I even put it in my Eden to End book, and I make reference to it, that there was one case, there's other ones now, but there was one case of a Catholic church. I can't remember where it was at. It was somewhere in Europe, Sweden or somewhere over there. There's one Catholic church over there that installed an AI confession, that you go in there and on the screen is you have an AI generated Jesus who talks and gives scripture verses and so on and so forth. And it attracted Christians, it attracted Catholics, it attracted Mormons, it attracted atheists, it attracted agnostics, it attracted like 4, 5, 6 various other religions that don't believe in Jesus, that worship other beings, Hindus and whatnot, and they showed up to participate with this AI Jesus. It is uniting these groups together. It's bringing them together because AI can break down those walls and curate information and whatnot in order to slowly bring these people together, because Jesus can be whoever they want it to be. And so we need to be very, very cautious of what we are watching, what we are listening to, and making sure that we're not participating in this. I will stand on that hill. That is a hill that I am willing to die on, and I'm not moving from it. I am absolutely not moving from it. And so visuals of this 8-minute video from this AI Bibles YouTube channel brought in 750,000 views. And I've seen some with more views than that. The AI Bible is run by Pray.com, a for-profit company that claims to have the world's #1 app for faith and prayer. The new AI videos are being warmly received online, according to Ryan Beck, Pray's chief technology officer. The viewers are most likely under 30 and skew male, though not too heavily. People are starting to write in on our YouTube telling us how these stories are really transforming their lives, how they're really impacting them spiritually and mentally. Oh, I believe they're being impacted for sure, but theologians are more skeptical. The videos rob the Bible of its power by reducing it to an action movie, said Brad East, professor of theology at Abilene Christian University in Texas. It's depressing that anyone would think that approach to biblical material was in any way spiritually edifying. And it goes on. This is the type of stuff, guys. This is the type of stuff that pops up. It's terrible. This is a very dangerous situation, because, and this is the same issue that I've brought up before when it comes to The Chosen, because I have talked about that. It's been a long time, but I talked about The Chosen. The people who created it, the people who wrote it, the people who worked on it, the people that produced it are people from all these different faiths. The main dude, Dallas Jenkins, doesn't even believe that there's a difference between the Christian Jesus and the Mormon Jesus, which those are, again, entirely different Jesuses, but yet he's producing a quote-unquote Christian show that's already been shown to have so many faults that are not biblical, and people are saying that they're more inclined to to watch and to study the show as opposed to their Bible, because they find the Bible boring, and they're not interested in that. It doesn't grab their attention, but the show does, and that's dangerous, because if you're more inclined to watch a TV show it's created by people who don't understand Scripture, as opposed to reading the Bible itself, you're going to get lost. And there's people who watch this type of stuff. How much opinion is getting injected into the generation of this content. It says, as tools have grown more powerful, AI-generated videos are increasingly part of the social media scene. Some are generating attention-grabbing slop for profit, while others are attempting to reimagine. That's not accurate. That's not being accurate to the thing. Reimagine means to take something and reimagine it, to change it to something else, and are attempting to reimagine historical figures and events. Religious personalities are among those resurrected by the machines. One humorous video created by comedian John LaHoye depicts Jesus sparring with the Easter Bunny in a podcast. Another envisions Mary as an influencer on her way to Bethlehem. Don't forget to like and pray. Pray.com has been experimenting with AI-generated images and videos to illustrate biblical content for a few years before the latest craze began, said Max Bard, the company's vice president for content. AI has given us access to all these tools to bring these stories to life. Again, it's so disheartening to see not only Christians embracing this, but we're seeing pastors and teachers and all these people who are supposed to be leaders within the church who are now embracing this and throwing it out to their audience like it's A-okay. Some of them have been preaching against AI for years, but yet now they're the ones who are endorsing it and saying, go ahead and use it. And these teachers are doing this. So what is pray.com? Pray.com is, first of all, you have to pay for it in order to get access to some of this stuff. So that's always fun. But I paused it on this video. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. That's Christ in Prophecy. You know, Tim Moore, Nathan Jones, those guys who are still over at Daystar, by the way. They're hooked up with this group as well, who does the AI stuff. Imagine that. But there's a whole bunch of people that are all messed up that are on here. Jentison Franklin's here. Jim Daly is on there as well. Ray Comfort is there. Frank Turek is on there as well. One for Israel. Rabbi Schneider is on there. There's other people I saw in here as well. There's Christ for Prophecy right there. They're involved with it, which doesn't surprise me at all. You have Apostle Dominic Ossie and Prophetess Leslie Ossie. Yeah, that's definitely somebody we want to be connected to. Apostle Doctrine Catholic Ann is on there as well. These are the people that are connected to this stuff. Tony Evans is on there as well. Amanda Grace, who's already proven herself to be a false prophet more times than I can count because of the things that she has put out there. There's a bunch of other people on here as well. Jack Graham is on there, no surprising, from the Graham family. Ed Young's on there for people who like Ed Young. Gary Wilkerson's on there as well. Skip Heitzig is on there. Rick Warren and Hank and Brenda Kuhneman as well. They're all on there. Kuhneman's all wrapped up with Lance Wallnau and stuff. Lecrae does his 7 days of motivational prayers and all that type of stuff. This is the same group that's all connected to the AI slop. This is why we need to make sure that we are constantly being very conscious of what we are taking in every day. It is so hard in a world, in the information age that we live in right now, where things can just come at us like this, that we're so used to just clicking on the next thing, scrolling to the next thing, without even thinking about it, without even really paying attention. And we can just get caught up in this. How many times? We've all done it. How many times have we been duped by a quote-unquote video, a news video that turned out to be AI generated or turned out to be altered in some type of way because we're just so driven to, oh, well, they're reporting this and this is the video, so that must be what's going on. And so I'm going to share this out to my friends and whatnot, only to find out that it's not true. Well, this is the same issue that we're having when it comes to the AI generated stuff, when it comes to Christian content as well. But I would say, and I stand by this, that the false teaching, the false connections, and the AI generated stuff that deems itself as Christian, like Christian music, Christian videos, and all that type of stuff, is much more dangerous than the secular stuff that we know is bad. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me on that. That's fine. But if we listen to a secular song, say you grew up in the classic rock era and you listen to a classic rock song, you know your guard is up. This is secular. I know where this is coming from. I know this is not good. You have that guard up because you know where it comes from. But when you listen to a Christian song by a quote-unquote Christian artist, your guard's down. The wall is down because, well, it's Christian. It must be okay. It's the same thing when we watch a movie. I'm going to go and watch this movie. I know there's some bad language in there. I know there's some stuff in there that's not good. But I know it's there. I know where it comes from. I know it's Hollywood. I know it's trash. But when you watch something, oh, it's a Christian movie. Must be okay. Must be good. My wall is down. I'm not keeping that same guard up. It's very Satan knows how to play. Satan knows where to go and how to get through to you when you are most exposed. And he's going to strike through the tag Christian. And so we need to make we need to be very, very cautious that we don't fall into this stuff. I will stand on that hill. I will die on that hill that we should be avoiding AI every opportunity that we have, every chance that we have.